this on Google, on YouTube eventually. All right. All of you guys can see my screen, correct? You can chat.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, great. So this is our 5th live anatomy class. And today we're going to be going over the lymphatic system. So we have some new faces, I believe. So, hi, my name is Arushi. I'm one of the lead instructors for the STEMEY anatomy class. There's Priyanka. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Priyanka. Yeah, I'm Priyanka. I'm also one of the anatomy instructors.
Okay. So we'll just start off with the Google Classroom and then go right into it for the material and questions, and then we have a labeling game at the end. Okay, so this is the Google Classroom code. It is the only way we get all of our information out. So if you guys can join that, that is going to be super helpful for you. We'll have the Zoom link, we'll have any announcements, reminders, all of the material on there. So that is super important to join. So you can quickly join or take a picture of the screen so you have the code for later. Okay, so today we're going to be going over the lymphatic system. We just want engagement, so you guys can private chat me answers to questions that I asked. And every question that is asked gets you 5 points on the leaderboard, regardless if it's right or wrong. And it's a really good way to know, like check your understanding of the knowledge. So we'll be doing that as well. Okay, so to begin, the lymphatic system is basically like your immune system. Like, it is your immune system, but a little more complicated with the more anatomical version of it. So basically, lymphatic circulation, and it's like drainage. So you have a bunch of unwanted fluids called interstitial fluids in your body, which is like fluid in between tissue. That's why it's called interstitial. And this will collect into the lymphatic ducts and arteries, trunks, or not arteries, capillaries, and all of that stuff, like the lymphatic system, basically. And then it'll drain into your veins, part of your circulatory system. And this is how it will remove unwanted things in your body. So it can be thought of as a drainage system. So for number 1, the question is the system blank, unwanted blank that leaks into tissues. So you can just like in the chat send me number 1 blank comma blank.
If you guys want to unmute and answer too, you can do that as well. But whatever you guys are comfortable with. Just as a reminder, again, we are going to be. You will be placed higher on the leaderboard, and you'll get more points. You know, if you have your camera on and you're engaged.
Okay, so basically, this system removes unwanted blood plasma and basically interstitial fluid, like I said, that leaks into tissues. So it removes unwanted lymph. It drains unwanted lymph fluid. A very wide variety of answers, but the basics you need to know is it removes unwanted fluid from your body and drains it into veins, which drains it out of your body. So it also plays a vital role in blank and blank immune responses. So you can answer that in the chat as well. Okay, so it plays a vital role in retaining and sustaining immune responses. And what this basically means is it like keeps your immune system going so you can fight against diseases, and it also like makes it better. Like it produces cells called lymphocytes. If you were there for the last lecture, part of the circulatory system, your white blood cells, it makes those, which are basically fighting against your body if there's any disease inside. So it is vital for that. So the organs in the system include the heart, venous system, arterial system, and inner organs of the lymphatic capillaries. So lymphatic capillaries basically follow your arteries and veins, part of the circulatory system, which is pretty important when you think about it, because you have blood circulating your body, and that plasma that leaks out isn't going to stray very far. So the fact that the lymphatic capillaries are kind of following that is really good, because they can just collect all of that extra fluid pretty quickly. So then you also have lymph nodes, which are like groups of cells that remove pathogens from the lymph before actually it enters your circulatory system, because if there is anything toxic, you don't want it in your blood. And then lymph is basically just interstitial fluid, but once it's entered the capillaries. And then, as I said before, your interstitial fluid becomes lymph when it drains into your lymphatic ducts and capillaries, which then drain into your veins. Yes. So basically, like the overall thing is your lymphatic system drains unwanted fluids out of your blood, or out of your body and into your blood to be recycled. And it is very important for your immune responses. Okay, Priyanka, this is your slide.
Okay, so like Arushi said, the lymphatic system on the whole, we like to think of it as a drainage system. And so you typically, to make it easier, you can think of it as being split into two, which technically is, and that's the left drainage system and the right drainage system. So looking at the right drainage system, you can see on the right-hand side in both the diagrams, what parts of the body the right drainage system kind of entails and works. And so it's one important thing to remember is just because it's called the right drainage system doesn't mean that it's necessarily draining interstitial fluid from the right side of the body. That's just the name we refer it to by. So it starts with the lymph nodes towards the top of the body, like the cervical nodes, and then it kind of goes through the right lymphatic duct into the right subclavian vein, which is like around your shoulder area. And then it continues to branch down, as you can see through various other nodes. So essentially the lymphatic vessels from the right side of the head, the right arm, and the right side of the thoracic cavity. And all of these nodes and vessels empty into, you guys can just private message in the chat or unmute. Oh, Inez, do you have a question? Yeah, we can see you.
It's fine. Yeah, you already answered it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, also to answer your other question, a lymph is basically just, you can kind of think of it like, it's like a colorless fluid in the body, and it just contains white blood cells. Yeah. So it's just a type of bodily fluid. Okay.
Okay, so I got like a private chat. So basically for number 3, the right drainage system is kind of weird. It's not like fully symmetrical in your body. I have no idea why, but like as you can see in the picture, the green part is your right drainage system, and it doesn't drain your lower body. So in fact, it's just like your thoracic and head and neck and upper arm on the right side. And then the answer to number 4 was that all of these nodes and vessels empty in they empty into your right lymph duct. So as you can see, the right lymphatic duct right here, which goes into your subclavian vein, as Priyanka said. So those are the answers for those questions. So then for the left drainage system, you have a right and left. So for the left one, it takes everything else in your body. So excluding the right side, it takes your lower body, your left arm, your left thoracic area, and your left head and neck. So all of these nodes, they empty into, you can put in the chat. So they empty into the thoracic duct. It's not called lymphatic duct, unlike the right system. So hopefully it's not too confusing. And it's not left thoracic duct, it's just your thoracic duct. So that is where basically the rest of your lymph goes into. And then similar to the right side, it drains into your left subclavian vein, unlike the right, which is the right subclavian vein. So that is that. So basically, as you can see here, you have various nodes. You have your inguinal nodes, which are around your upper leg, hip area, and then your axillary, cervical, all of these. So this is why it's like really important, like as we've mentioned in the beginning, the skeletal system, muscular system, circulatory, all of these, like the same areas in your body are gonna have the same names. Like for example, you have your inguinal nodes, you also have your inguinal artery and vein. So, and they're all in the same area. So once you basically know like the basics, I would say you should definitely get the circulatory system down. Everything else kind of follows. And it's like all memorization from that point on. So if you know like where your inguinal artery and vein is, you know where your inguinal nodes are, which is why it's helpful because they're the same name. So once again, to reiterate, your left drainage system drains everything in your lower body, left thoracic area, left arm, left head and neck into your thoracic duct, and your right drainage system drains everything in your right thoracic area, right head and neck, and right arm into your right lymphatic duct. And both of them drain into their respective subclavian veins.
So Arushi already just reiterated it, but like just to kind of see the two combined into like one diagram, you can see here that this is kind of the dark green area is the right drainage system and what's being drained into the right lymphatic duct. And so as you can see, it's just the right head, the right arm, and then that upper right neck area along with the thoracic cavity there. And then as Arushi said again, the left drainage system, which is in the light green, is basically just draining everything else, the lower body, the left thoracic cavity, the left head, neck, arm, and everything else. And that just drains into the thoracic ducts. And then after being drained to the left thoracic duct, that's going into the left subclavian vein. And then the right lymphatic duct is draining it into the its own subclavian vein as well.
So this unit was pretty short. It's basically all that memorization from like which nodes are where, which is like basically on the circulatory system. Just study the diagram we had earlier. So do you guys have any questions? Because we're definitely open to those. You can unmute, private chat, public chat. So we can give you like a couple minutes to just think of questions or type out your questions. And then we will play a labeling game because, as I said, it's like a bunch of memorization. So we'll get started on practicing that after you guys put in any questions. So you can hang around for a couple of minutes waiting for any questions, and then we will start. If you don't have questions, could you just put like, oh, okay, I have a question. So the question is, what are capillaries? So you have like circulatory system or cardiovascular system, they're the same thing. Capillaries, which are basically like, if you're there for the last lecture, it's like you have like arteries and then you have veins, but when they transform into one another, not transform, like when they,
You can think of them like the thinnest blood vessels there are.
Yeah.
Like if you look at arteries, veins, and capillaries, out of all three of those, capillaries are going to be the thinnest and the smallest.
it's like capillaries are the transition between arteries and veins.
Mhm.
So, and then lymphatic capillaries, you don't have lymphatic arteries or veins. So, it's like essentially blood vessels, but they carry the lymph instead, and they're called capillaries for the lymphatic system. Did that answer your question? Okay, great. So I don't see any other questions. If you guys have them, like just pop them in the chat anytime. We'll answer after our game. So let's start our game. It's labeling. So as you can, some of you guys have played this, some of you guys have not. How it works is you see all of these like blue buttons. So up here where it says press play, it will tell you like the name of like a body part, and we have to like click the button to see if we like guess the right area. So how you guys can do it is like you can say if the answer is this blue button right here, you can say like left second. So like it's on the left side and it's the second one down. Do you guys understand that? Oh, you can say yes in the chat or no if you don't
Oh
understand.
yeah. Yeah, I understand it.
Okay, great.
Okay, perfect.
So we will start. So where's the entrance of the right lymphatic duct into the right subclavian vein? I don't have any, okay. So I'm getting left first. Let's see. That is correct. Where's the lymphatic collecting vessels? I only have one answer. I'm gonna wait for a second one because there are more of you guys today. One more answer, please.
It's okay if you guys get it wrong. This is just, I mean, we just went over the content, so
Yeah.
so this is a good way to practice.
Okay, so I have two right bottoms, like the right fifth ones, and one right fourth. So since there are two right fifths, we'll try that. That is correct. So on this diagram, like, do you see these little like polka dot kind of things? These are nodes. These are vessels. So where's the thymus? We haven't gone over this. It is in the endocrine system, but the
Is
thymus.
it in the like you know where the heart is?
Yeah, right
Yeah,
here.
that.
Do you mean this button?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have a answer?
Thank you for unmuting and letting me know. Yeah, we'll go with the majority one.
Okay. Okay, wait, actually, I get two for this one and then one for in the next, so we'll go with the majority. That is correct. So the thymus is actually a gland. We haven't gone over that, but it is a gland that secretes hormones. So where's the cisterna chyli? We haven't gone over this, but it's like a major vessel in the lymphatic system because it's.
Is it the middle one?
Do you mean this one or this one?
That one, the one your cursor was on right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct. So it's kind of like in the middle. So when you have the like left and right, it's kind of like where it starts branching out. So sister neck heavy. Where are the cervical lymph nodes? So cervical is like a hint.
Is the top one? I think it's the top one. Like,
This one?
yeah, I think.
Okay, we'll go with that. That's
Yeah,
correct.
you're
'cause
right.
cervical's in the head.
Yeah, your cervical is like that neck head region. So good job, Inez. You guys are doing really well.
The entrance of the thoracic duct into the left subclavian vein. Okay, we're getting a lot for this one. That's correct. This is like the major thing we went over in the slide too. The inguinal nodes, I didn't kind of like emphasize that. We were going over some things.
Is it the inguinal lymph nodes, like on the bottom? You know where the green bottom is? Yeah, the top of the. I don't know. Yeah.
So we have this option, and then we also have left second.
I think it's the bottom one.
And this
like,
one. We have
yeah,
three
can you go
options.
below that?
Yeah, so we'll go with
the bottom
this
one.
one.
This.
This is correct. Remember, inguinal is like in your leg area, hip area. It's a pretty major artery going down to like your groin. Yeah. So where's your thoracic duct?
We talked about this a lot with the left drainage system.
So I've left second and left third. What do you guys think? This one or this one? Okay, I got another one for third.
Yeah, that correct.
One. Like. Your spleen, that's an organ, not a node or a duct. The right fourth one is already clicked. Right third, we'll go with that. That is
at
correct.
The top of it, yeah.
Yeah. Spleen is pretty straightforward. Your axillary lymph nodes, where are those? There's only one left. Axillary goes with your arm. So you guys did really good. We got 100%. That's great, you guys. So like as you can see, this is basically just memorization at this point. So that's really good.
I think you guys are picking up this stuff really fast as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just went over it and you're.
Yeah. So do you guys have any other questions? Because I believe that is it for our lecture.
The last week's, like, because I have no clue about lymphatic circulation.
Last week we went over the circulatory system or the cardiovascular system. They go by both names.
Yeah.
And if you join the Google Classroom, we have the slideshow for that already up. So you can go over and look on that slideshow. And I believe we will have the recordings posted on YouTube as soon as possible.
So isn't it that lymphatic system and the blood system is the same thing?
They're actually not the same thing. So your circulatory cardiovascular system delivers blood and oxygen to different tissues, right? So it's like the arteries, veins, and capillaries have blood within them, and they are actually giving like blood to various organs from the heart to the heart, all that stuff. The lymphatic system is mainly responsible for your immune responses with the white blood cells, lymphocytes. It creates those, and then it collects the interstitial fluid. Like we went over in the beginning, the functions of it. You have your like leaked out plasma from your circulatory system, from those arteries and vessels that are kind of just floating around your body. And you can't have it floating around your body, otherwise you like swell up like a balloon, right? It can't be, it has to be contained. So that's where the lymphatic system comes into play. It will collect that interstitial fluid into its capillaries, and then it will drain it back into your veins, which will go back to your heart to be purified again, and all of that. So
yeah,
that's
so the
kind of the
lymphatic system
difference.
basically acts like a recycling system. And last week we went over, like Arushi said, the cardiovascular system. And yeah, so the slides for that will be are already posted on Google Classroom. So that no worries if you missed last week's. You can just go find it there, and we'll have the recording for it posted really as soon as possible as well. So you can kind of see the activity we did as well for it.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions?
Oh, you know, in Eventbrite, yeah, do you actually need to sign up again, like to attend the course?
So actually, one more thing about that was, you're asking about Eventbrite, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually have stopped using Eventbrite, so you don't need to actually RSVP through there. You can just RSVP directly. Are you on the Google Classroom?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can just directly RSVP through the Google Classroom, because we stopped using Eventbrite, so we don't check it any longer. And so it's not a worry if you RSVP'd this week. It's just from now onwards you don't have to do anything on Eventbrite. Did that answer your question, or?
Yeah. I'm actually so clueless about the lymphatic circulating. Wait, I get confused with it.
Oh,
Like,
what aspect
I
of
never
it?
even heard about it. I never ever actually heard about it. Like, it's completely new to me.
Yeah, it's not really a system that's that well thought of, but it's also really important because when you think about it, it's what protects you from all your diseases.
I mean, if it's confusing for you, like a simple way, I guess, to think about it is like your circulatory system or / cardiovascular system is it's pumping all this blood, and it's providing oxygen for your tissues and organs, like Arushi said. And so, kind of the plasma and certain other, like the interstitial fluids that are also generated in your body as a result, they can't just be, also like Arushi mentioned, they can't just be circulating through your body because you're going to just kind of swell up, right? It's like a waste essentially, like, 'cause that interstitial fluid isn't helping your body in any way. And so the lymphatic system, you can think of it as like a recycling center sort of for your body, and it's just draining that fluid and it's sending it back through to the heart, so where that can be reused sort of. And so I guess that's a bit of it, because when we think of lymphatic circulation, that's essentially all it is. It's just circulation is just, the way that interstitial fluid and the plasma is being sent to the heart by the various components of the lymphatic system.
It's like it's being purified back into blood.
Did that clarify it a little bit, or? I know it's still really confusing. This is just a very like baseline level. There's still so much more detail, I guess, regarding the system. But yeah, this is like I guess an easy way to kind of think of it.
Do we have any other questions? Okay, I don't think we have any other questions. So that is it for today. We will post the respiratory system soon, probably by tonight. And we'll figure out if we have class next week or not. And then we'll send out a Google Classroom announcement if we have class or not. We'll say like we still have class or we don't have class, because it will be for some schools winter break. So yeah, we'll let you guys know about that, but we will still have the material posted in time. So I hope you guys have a nice winter break if we do not have class. And otherwise, I hope to see you guys next week on the respiratory system. Bye.
Bye guys, thank you.